right. Do we have the same intro?
Sweet Jesus.
Apparently,
right,
you're
a
like
lead-off hitter,
introduction.
so we need you to just get on base.
I mean, Ben seemed ready to go, so.
Oh God,
You-
no!
you
He
interviewed
was
here.
ready to talk about his thing. He doesn't give a shit about anything else.
Welcome to Business Under the Influence with myself, David, and Kristen. Kristen is an incredible consultant, experienced businesswoman. I have worked with her several times in the past, and legend says that she added new washing machines to Best Buy's lineup.
I mean, don't laugh. Yeah. Seated to my right forward is David, who has a degree in psychology and 87 years of leadership experience in various industries. He is also, you may not know this about him, Ben, this may be a surprise to you, but he is actually the leader. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So
It sounds unbelievable, but it's probably true.
It's probably true. Yeah. So he's actually the leader of a 97 member squirrel army.
What?
Yep. It's true.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sir.
Can't confirm.
He's very busy. Yep.
So this is Ben. He is an MBA who specializes in starting up and commercializing programs and bringing someone to actually into the revenue stream. Weird fact about him is he actually when on his last trip to the Andes Mountains, he did tame what was thought to be an untamable alpaca.
Oh, that fucker. That fucker.
Son of a bitch.
That's true. That's not even allegedly. 100% true.
Scientifically proven. That's good.
All right. So what are we drinking today, everybody? We have a Bud Light.
A mystery drink.
A brandless. I'm not sure what's allowed to release into the world. We'll talk about IP later. And a backup Coors Light.
And I'm also it blurred it out for me. I'm also drinking the Coors. It's the banquet beer, but in the light version.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you can buy not Coors Light? Like there is Coors?
Yeah, it's the banquet beer.
Yeah.
I do not live.
Where have you been?
The West.
They call it
Coors
something.
is not the Midwest. Coors is Colorado.
Coors is Colorado, bro. That's basically the PNW.
Yeah.
They got weed before we did. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, fair. Touche.
To be fair, if Colorado, Oregon, and Washington had a vote, we would just pretend Idaho wasn't there, and they would just be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Colorado. Yep.
Anyway,
reasonable.
So today we're talking about the business model canvas.
All right.
In which Ben is an expert, allegedly.
So,
allegedly.
I have some experience, allegedly, in talking about products, how they're created, how they get to the market, and how you actually make money off of a product, which is maybe the important thing, I guess. I don't know. It depends on if you're a nonprofit. But we're going to talk about the business model canvas.
There's a picture. Okay.
Hopefully you can all see. We have a picture from Google. Honestly, if you Google business model canvas, you're going to get a ton of results. But this is one I like because it lends itself well to being on a screen and discussed. So every business has puzzle pieces. Surprise, surprise, from revenue streams to supply chain to employees to everything in between. And when you're starting a business, it kind of helps to map those things out. And that's what the business model canvas is. So I can start with a discussion of the business model canvas, or you guys can just get drunk and ask me questions on random components.
I like the latter part.
That's fair.
My first frustration with this is that this is a puzzle piece, but there are missing pieces. I do enjoy watching other people put jigsaw puzzles together and then contributing only mockery, and I don't appreciate that we have some gaps in this puzzle.
Yeah.
My first question would mainly be, is this something that you need all of the answers to, or is there an order you do these in that makes it more productive? Or like, is some of it seat of your pants? Like, let's figure out all of the rectangles need to be figured out, but then those arrows can get sorted out later.
So excellent question, and somewhat debated. I will note that pretty much everything with the business model canvas is debated. There's a reason 9 out of 10 startups fail, but picking one to be the first order of operations is the value proposition. Right there in the middle, there is a customer, there's a need, there is a pain point, there's a reason someone wants this. And if you can clearly define that, it's a lot easier to start filling in the other pieces, because everything else is a support structure for what your value proposition is.
So in this kind of world that we're living in, we're filling in these pieces. The first is, what do I provide to the market? That's my value proposition, right?
Yes.
Like, what do I give that no one is getting somewhere else, or that I can do better than everybody else? And from there, I figured out, what do I need to do that? What do I need to have to do that? Who needs to hand me money to do that? And then the other parts.
How do you build that, depending on the type of business you are? How do you create that if you have an OnlyFans? How do you get paid is another big one. Do people mail you cash in an envelope like it's 1945? Or do people use Stripe or Square or Patreon? What are the big channels for how you get paid for the thing that you are providing to people?
Yeah. So hypothetically, I'm running as thank you for your service, boxer brief company. I start off with, I am providing low cost angel pillow boxer briefs to veterans. How do I fill out the rest of this?
All right. So that still is not quite your value proposition. You have your key activities. You are producing underwear. So you can start talking about what materials those are made out of. You can start talking about where you source those, where they get made, how much it makes to produce on your end one unit of underwear. Is it legs, like one leg of underwear? But is that the value proposition? And to sell this product, you need to start talking about your value proposition and connecting the back end. Where do I source my materials? Be it content, be it literal gold or lithium for batteries, to a customer that wants to engage with this material in the form that you have created.
So like, my value proposition wouldn't be I make underwear. My value proposition would be like, I make angel pillow underwear, which makes you better at everything you do in your day-to-day life.
Okay, sold. First of all, can I define what is better in my everyday life? Because I have some thoughts.
Well, the question that I had on that too is that I think sometimes what's the difference between value propositions and competitive advantage? Is it the same thing, or is it different, or are they related? Because I know for me, like, I get confused sometimes on value propositions. Like, I was raised in retail in a lot of cases, like when it comes to this stuff. So it's like feature benefit and the difference between the two. And like, I get confused sometimes on what a value proposition is versus like competitive, whatever. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And customer relationships is the component of the business model canvas you're talking about for the most part. But the value proposition, I feel like in consumer relations, is where it gets confused the most. You know, if you work at a White House black market or, you know, any other, an Under Armour storefront store, talking about those products and the value proposition really gets intermingled with marketing. You know, this is going to make you as buff as The Rock. This is going to make you look like the project manager of your dreams. While that might be a value proposition of the pants as you understand it, if you're selling sweatpants or khakis, the value proposition is that they are pants targeting what you need, whether that is to portray an image of project management or whether that is to go to the gym. And so it's almost like there's this layer of marketing and understanding and content reach that we talked about in the previous episode. But when you go below that, people have a need and a problem they need to solve. And the value proposition is the part of that product or marketing that is addressing the problem that that individual needs to solve, whether it's a business or an individual.
So
it'd be like having, go ahead, sorry.
You're probably smarter than me, so go for it. I mean, probably you're definitely.
That
She's
is
the
an
older
actual
sibling.
fact. Yes, I will always be bigger, better, and stronger than you. So no, is it the damn it, now you fucking derailed me. Oh, so I was thinking like, so I provide like, my product is boxer briefs, and they last 10 times as long as your average, because people always have to buy underwear all the time. So my particular formula that I've created for these super awesome Underoos is that they last longer than the other ones, and they stay soft and comfortable, and they don't stretch out.
Oh, I really like the term underoos. I'm going to start using that from now
I
on.
think it's actually
So-
copyrighted, so maybe not, but
Yeah,
go on.
yeah, don't do that.
Is
yeah.
it? Is
Yeah,
that
I
a
think
thing?
so.
Is that
I
an
think it's
Australian
happening.
thing?
How old are
Underoos?
you? Like, have you been
Only there's some
ever
person
on the
knowledge.
internet?
All right. Well, while they both
Yeah.
Google this, we're going to talk about underoos and the value proposition therein.
Yeah.
So if you're selling underoos, you are selling comfort, you are selling longevity. There's a lot of different things that could be of value, but it is what addresses the pain point. If your target market is people that go through underwear often because they break it for whatever reason, like, oh no, my
No judgment.
my waistband, it continually breaking, whatever component, front or rear, might be destroyed at some point in time. Those people have a need. They have a need that must be immediately addressed by your product. That's why we have different kinds of underwear. That's why we have different kinds of many products on the market. Your value proposition is a combination of your marketing, but your marketing should be targeted to the people that are benefiting from the difference or the novelty that your product provides. So talking about Underoos, or what did we call the business name?
Underoos are operated by Fruit of the Loom.
Son of a, okay, they're kind of good. I like their products. You guys are great. Sponsor us. But
Thank you for your service.
thank you for your service underwear.
Yeah.
It might be super durable, like 1,000 workouts without washing. That's terrible. Don't do that. But if that's your value proposition, how do you organize your marketing, your social media? How do you reach the people that are having this underwear destruction problem? Right?
They don't use bamboo fiber. We use bamboo fiber. That's part of our secret with mint.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's also it's cooling. It keeps you cooler too. Bamboo
New
does.
age.
Yeah.
Very supportive. This is America's underwear.
Also less destructive to the environment too. I think like bamboo's better.
Mint and bamboo break down very quickly. So yeah, it's really good.
Do they? Is this like you combine them and it's just acetone, or
no? Because it lasts 10,000 uses without a wash. We already talked about this.
It's evolved from super long lasting to single use. We've gone both sides of the pendulum
Full
now.
circle.
Like you just
wear
them
once. If you want to throw them out after every use, you can. It won't damage the environment. However, if you do want to keep them for 10,000 uses, good to go. Someone's going to actually make this product, and I'm going to be pissed when I see it on the shelves, and I'm like, God damn it,
Are you going to be pissed, or are you going to be really excited?
Yes. Okay. So our value proposition is durable underwear. The customer relationship is, hey, we have this better underwear. So we have to figure out, so how do we figure out the rest of that jigsaw puzzle?
So the jigsaw puzzle being the business model canvas, we talked about customer relationships. The entire last episode was how do you reach your customers? How do you convert customers to leads and kind of interact with them in a productive way? Filling out the rest of it, channels, I would say debatable, but is the next big one. How do people pay for your product? If I invent, say, a database of everyone who is willing to pay for something, I can create that binary line of literally, I am willing to pay for this underwear. That's extremely valuable. Those are the channels of conversion to, okay, those people need a website, right? What 30 million people? 30 million people want to buy this underwear. Where do they click that buy button? Is the channels. How do you interact with a sale? And that includes, to some extent, the supply chain. I mean, your key partners and key resources and your cost structure will touch your supply chain, but your channels are your literal warehouse, how you are distributing this underwear, how you are manufacturing and taking an order, taking payment, and converting that to a single unit of underwear sent. Just a big, beautiful, stretchy underwear ball supporting thing.
Yep. So understanding that I can't send it out via unicorn and receive payment via unicorn, how do I determine what's like right for me?
Well, I have new questions about unicorns because I was under the impression that I could order a unicorn.
Well, they are union, so they do cost quite a bit more.
Oh.
So if I want to avoid that as an initial startup cost,
So avoiding unions. Jesus Christ. So your question was about how you get these manufactured?
no, it's more of like, how do I determine what works for my business? So like if I want to have thank you for your service, it is clearly veteran centered. Therefore, I only care about US distribution. So like, how do I determine what's best for me? Do I run through DHL? Do I run through my own trucks? Do I just throw them and hope a seagull catches it and carries it where it's supposed to go? Like, how do I determine what channel is actually most effective for my business when I don't have a lot of capital yet, because people don't realize how goddamn amazing this underwear is.
Pigeons.
Well, and I feel like it's like also like, do you go into like brick and mortar? Like, are you selling your underwear in other locations, like in a boutique or Target, or are you just going to sell stuff on your website or your Etsy? Like what? There's like a bunch of other things.
So that dives a little bit more into key partners and a huge decision on whether you are online only or whether you have key partners that distribute your products, or whether your channel is your own brick and mortar store that you have started. Again, really depends on your kind of business. So taking examples from the real world, Stance, the brand, the underwear, they're fantastic. They appear in several stores, but are predominantly online. They have a fantastic social media presence. They have a fantastic social media team. So for the Stance brand of underwear, I would describe the channels as the online sales, the online conversions, and that really goes into your own key activities of distribution. If you talk about things like, say, thank you for your service underwear wants to be the main underwear in Target stores. Now you're talking about key partners. While Target is a channel, Target as a company is also a key partner. There's someone you're going to have to interact with. There's someone you're going to have to pitch to, convince, and then continue working with to distribute and sell your underwear. To the extent of sales, you don't necessarily have access to their point of sale system. You only know how much underwear they have purchased from you to then sell. So if you want to know how well it's selling, how quickly, on what dates, you're going to have to work with Target as a key partner. And that's why that's such a huge piece of the business model canvas. Is your channels are quickly going to become, okay, who am I working with to bring this product to market? Or how do people reach this product?
So like if they only sell on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and the 4th of July, but they order them in bulk each quarter to prep for each of those holidays, you wouldn't necessarily have that visibility.
Exactly. Though now I'm imagining Target completely covered in red, white, and blue underwear for one day, and no one knows how it happens.
Those are the only colors we're selling. So
just some gnomes come out.
Not camo?
Redo the whole thing.
I assumed there would be camo.
Yeah.
Ooh, half the store is camo. You get your red, white, and blue, or you get your camo.
Yeah.
Welcome to Target. Welcome to Target.
Yeah. All right. So the other sides of this we kind of talk about the channels, customer relations, the value prop, who your key partners are. What is customer segments?
Ooh, customer segments is, we've already talked about this a lot, but who wants your underwear, David?
Whoever, I mean, veterans. That's who I'm.
No
targeting,
one.
So.
Oh,
yeah.
Nobody.
Well, the thing is, everyone's gonna want to be a veteran because the angel pillows that we make it out of.
Oh, that's fair.
Yep. So currently veterans, but we'll expand.
But that's a good point, though. Everyone wants angel pillows. Point to one person who doesn't want an angel-made pillow versus someone who wants something made for veterans.
Oh, I don't know who actually makes the angel pillows. All I know is that they are angels pillows. Yes,
of course.
Yes, same person that made the light bulb.
Yeah, absolutely. Light bulb Jesus is making the underwear for pillows, but the customer segment is the demographic that is holding the pain point or understands the pain point or is looking for a solution, whatever that might be. Now, for this underwear product that we've created and may create later, as I will...
Patent pending.
Yeah, this footage is going to be used in court. to defend a trademark.
Absolutely, for a lot of reasons.
For positive reasons and negative reasons. But thank you for your service underwear is appealing to a customer segment probably similar to grunt style or a lot of these products that appeal to veterans. Black Rifle Coffee, Forest Spirits Distilling, a lot of these companies that are for an understanding of veterans, which is great. I think these companies do this exceedingly well. They understand their customer segment, which is these people that want to feel an identity or want to recognize an identity that is not necessarily anywhere else. And that is huge, from both veterans to socially awkward people that want to go play Warhammer at their local game store. That is your customer segment. What kind of person are you talking to and what pain point you're trying to solve? But I will say they often kind of fall out of each other. If you have a pain point that you're solving, you often very much understand your target demographic. If you have a product you are selling to a target demographic, you often understand the pain point they are feeling. So that relationship doesn't necessarily take that much effort. If it takes a lot of effort, you might be reaching for straws, is the big piece of information there. If you're having trouble connecting your customer relationship to your customer segment, you might not be selling something that people give two shits about.
Makes sense, yeah. So then what's our cost structure and revenue streams? Those are the pieces we're still trying to put into this jigsaw.
All right, cost structure and revenue streams. These two little assholes just hanging out here down at the bottom, which are maybe the most important things to understand after your value proposition. Because if you understand your value proposition, you understand how much it costs to provide that value, and you understand how much people are willing to pay for that value. That's a business. You have the three pieces. You have why, you have how much, and you have how much it costs you to complete that cycle. Boom. Welcome to my first YouTube video.
I feel like that is the normal, like when you first take algebra, where do these two lines meet?
100%. That is absolutely what we're talking about with cost structure and revenue streams. So starting with revenue streams, probably that's the easiest. Revenue streams is completely self-explanatory. How do you make money? People pay you to produce content. People pay you for your underwear. People pay you for the underwear that you have worn, apparently. People pay you for your veteran-owned underwear. But that is a revenue stream. You are producing money. You might be a 5-figure business, a 6-figure business, a 7-figure business. And there's a lot of talk about what size of business you are. You know, if 5 people make $10 billion, is that a big business because they made a lot of money? Or is that a small business because they have a small head count? That the description of small or large business is completely custom. And I think that trying to define your revenue streams by whether you are or are going to be a big or small business is just going to get you spinning in circles. What you want to think about for revenue streams is taking your value proposition. Why are people paying for it? Are they currently paying for it? Cool. We're making money. Let's start there. So this underwear costs, I don't know, $20 a pair. It's high quality. You get one pair at a time. Maybe it's custom patterns. Maybe it's just really high quality materials. That's
Angel
fine.
pillows.
Angel pillows. We take one product, we deconstruct it. Anyway, so talking about cost structure then, if your underwear costs $20 or $25 a unit to manufacture, it's then going to cost you another $3 a unit to ship on the high end. Like, these are custom pieces. I'm sending one off, versus I'm a big enough business in terms of either headcount or monetary value to have a distribution warehouse to control that kind of distribution costs, right? Cost structure suddenly gets really complicated when you have a product and people that are willing to pay for that product. Now, how much does it cost to get that product to the people who are willing to pay for it? And that is what your cost structure is going to be. All of those decisions within that soup and really nebulous business sizes that is completely custom to what you are doing as an individual.
So as part of
So
that,
is
like,
there
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. This has been an entire episode of Soapbox and back and forth on a soapbox, and I will rant on business model canvas for a long time. Hopefully, this is drunkenly useful to someone.
So what were you saying?
so is there a difference in the way this strategy is applied between service-based businesses, product-based businesses, and then like if you're like manufacturing a product of some sort?
Ooh, you have things to say?
No, that was actually my question as well.
Just
like,
very excited.
Like what's the difference between like if I'm selling feet pics, is my cost structure then my initial cost structure is high because I have to buy a nice camera, ring light, but then my cost structure is low because I have to buy like spaghetti because I'm walking in spaghetti to sell my feet pics on OnlyFans. However, if I am continually making a thing at a certain amount of cost, how like that all affects my mathematics on my cost structure.
Right. So feet pics. Anyway, really good question. And that's why cost structure is kind of its own segment. So cost structure for feet pics is going to be really high profit margin, to use some classic understandable business terms. Taking a cell phone picture is really low cost to you. It's just your time and maybe some depreciated cost of your cell phone versus, I don't know, $20 for David's foot pic. Is that a thing? But Drake.
Agreed.
Now you are starting to balance the revenue capability of the item you're selling to how much it costs you to make. The revenue capability of an electronic component is surprisingly high. You know, if I make a resistor and I sell it for 12 cents on DigiKey and a bunch of people want it, and it cost me 2 cents to make, that is an absurdly high profit margin. I could have made numbers that were easier for me to just provide you that, like 2 and 10, and then it's 20%. But we're not going to talk about that.
Two.
That's 10% times 2.
Hey, the only
Common
math
themes.
you need to know.
So I guess. Sorry, not to interrupt.
Oh no, go ahead.
My big question is, so at the end of the day, like we have this jigsaw puzzle we're trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the big determinations of can I have a business is value proposition, revenue streams, cost structure, and then the customer segment. So my value proposition is, do I make something I think people want? Customer segments is, are there people who are willing to pay for the thing I want? And then I have revenue streams, which tells me those people who want that thing will pay for it. And then my cost structure is I can provide the thing I'm telling people I can provide. This is my first YouTube video. And so it seems like those four are like, if I want to know if a business I want to make is valuable, I need to answer those 4 questions.
Mm-hmm.
After that, everything else is okay. So if I want to make this, I need to put it into stores. Therefore, I need a key partner. If I want to make this, what do I need to make this? That's my key resources. If I want to make this, I need to mine trees of southern Uganda only under the light of a full moon. That's my key activities. If I want to sell this to those people need to know that I'm selling it to them. So I need to get onto the Ugandan tree farmer subreddit and post these things. And then I need to get a way to get it to them. But the big questions I have to answer are, do I have something people want to buy? Am I answering a question? Do people actually want that question answered? Can they pay me and can I build it? And those are the big 4 I want to make. And then I have to answer all the rest of the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can't answer those big 4 of, do I have something that brings value? Do people want the thing that I think brings value? Can they pay me and can I build it? If I can't answer those 4, I should not even create a business.
Exactly. Which I think could be applied and is somewhat nebulous. You know, you could argue that something is value provided in some way. So you do need to listen to your customers. You do need to do a lot of research and understand what you're creating. But that is 100% correct. You have something you're providing. You have people that want it. You have a way for them to pay you. And you understand very well how much it costs you to make that thing or provide that thing. that's a business. The upper left corner, key partners, key resources, key activities. I'm sorry, but like you are secondary to someone even wanting this thing. And that is, those are very, very valuable aspects, which can absolutely tell you that you do not have a business. But everything else needs to happen first before you fill in these 3 back-end components. That's the business model canvas. It's something that's used for understanding the initiation of a business or a new product launch, a new SKU like washing machines. It is understanding whether you should do something or not. It is not necessarily used for understanding a current long-term business like Sears or Blockbuster or something of that sort.
You said current.
Well, shots fired.
Oh, R.I.P. Yeah. Go with God, or
Yeah.
and peace be
Go
with
with
you.
God, Blockbuster. We loved you. We grew up with you.
Okay,
Bio
so
convenience.
that makes sense.
Okay.
The big questions people have to ask is the big 4, and then they figure out, how do they reach those customers? How do they get it to the customers? Who do they need to get it to the customers? Who do they need to kill to get whatever they need to get to the customers? That makes sense.
Right.
So how to hide
And
a
then
body
where do they
is gonna
find?
be
Yeah.
episode
Also.
3.
Yeah. Oh, I was
Hold on,
hoping
let
it
me
was
write
gonna be
that down. Hold on, let me put it in the notes.
How to find
hide a body.
unicorns. You need to find your unicorns. That's what episode 3 should be.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Where do you find your unicorn delivery service?
I feel like we can't say that because unicorn, I feel like, means a different thing. And
Unicorn
today's
is
world.
both a company and a
service.
very often service and a very often used startup terminology. Like if you say unicorn to a venture company, that means a very specific thing. That means 100x return.
Yeah.
And so using that is different.
Yeah.
It also means other things in other circles.
Oh
Yeah.
So like
yeah. I mean,
so
but
if you go to
also
Thailand,
something is just as rare in the dating world is as rare as a venture capitalist getting 100 times return on their money. So those of you who use dating apps just understand that a unicorn in a dating app is as rare as a venture capitalist getting 100 times return on their investment. So like
it's a mythical creature for a reason.
Yep, just do the math.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Do the math. Okay.
All right, well, this has been Business Under the Influence.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Jesus
Some
Christ.
of us more than others. Yeah. There were bridges,
hope
they
you
were
enjoyed.
built.
At some point, we'll talk about some of the things we've talked about. We have our notes. So
David has his notes.
David has our notes, which is unfortunate. So we'll talk about none of those things in the future. But it was a nice thought. Okay. So see you on the next episode. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to being drunk and maybe talking about business.
Everything is
Everything
terrible.
is terrible. Fucking nailed it.